This presentation covers bias-free language as detailed in the APA 7th edition manual. There are certain goals for minimizing bias. First and foremost is the fair treatment of individuals and groups. This is accomplished by avoiding demeaning attitudes and false hierarchies, awareness and removal of constructions that imply prejudice or biases, and the improvement of sensitivity, clarity, precision, and inclusion. APA provides the following general guidelines. When it comes to the appropriate level of specificity, the focus should be on relevant characteristics. Writing should acknowledge relevant differences, and consideration should be given to the appropriateness of specifics. Sensitivity to labels is also noteworthy in order to acknowledge humanity, provide specific and appropriate definitions and labels, and avoid false hierarchies that give the impression that some are better than others. Related to bias-free language in the 7th edition manual is the singular they. It is inclusive of all people and helps writers avoid assumptions about gender. As such, use of they, them, their, theirs, and themselves or themself is suitable when based on self-identification or when gender is uncertain. When there is uncertainty, using a variation of they or rewording the sentence is recommended. From the APA Style blog, I've pulled the following examples to better highlight some of the problems and ways to write things better. First, with age, you'll see problematic examples on the left and better uses to the right. Similarly, for the topic of disability, you can see how problematic examples tend to be insensitive and or vague, where the better versions are more considerate, appropriate, and specific. The same holds for gender as well as race and ethnicity. Consideration to those you are writing about, how they self-identify, and the specificity of your language and focus is important. Additionally, remember that it is important to only focus on the characteristics that are relevant. Extraneous details potentially bog down your reader while also risking the disclosing of identifiable information. Once again, aim for considerate, appropriate, and specific details. It's also a problem when there are too many or too few details when writing about sexual orientation. As an example, married people might live together or apart, and single people might live alone with others and possibly with their partner, and that doesn't even address the sexual orientations of those partnerships. Writing only married or single is too vague, as the labels fail to capture the full picture. The same applies to socioeconomic status. Ultimately, for bias-free language, it is crucial to figure out what is considerate, appropriate, and specific while remaining sensitive to how individuals and groups self-identify. And that's all I can cover in 3 minutes. Please email if you have any questions.